Almost Merry Christmas, Rick Rose.
Almost Happy New Year, Mark McNease. Good morning.
Good morning, and somebody told me you were in New Jersey.
I am, and now I'm going into New York this afternoon. You're doing the opposite journey today.
Yes, going from Manhattan to the house out in Jersey.
That's
But we're
great. Well,
gonna see
thanks.
we're gonna see you tomorrow night, which is so exciting.
It's our annual Christmas get together for LGBTSR and for this show. Welcome everybody to our show.
Yes, happy holidays. I say Merry Christmas because I'm bold and all of that
And
stuff.
I've gotten more into Happy Holidays because I have so many friends of other faiths.
Yeah, I do both. I do both. It's like
Yeah.
partner husband. Depending on the
Well, I
person.
say, I say, first of all, are you a Christian? If they say, I go, oh, Merry Christmas.
Oh,
That's how I do it. No, I don't really. But hey, everybody.
hey everybody! Now, before we start, because we're on a, we're keeping them shorter now. Here's the instead of the bell, my sister sent me this Tibetan chime for Christmas.
Nice. I was going to say in celebration of Chinese New Year, but they're very different countries. So I like the bell. Happy Christmas to your sister as well. Hi, Kathy,
Hi,
if you're
Kathy.
listening. Hi, everybody. Like Romper Room, remember? I see Jesse and I see Kathy and I see Frank. Remember that? I,
I remember. I see Susie. I see France. I see Jesse. I see France. I see Susie's underpants. You remember that?
Whoops. So let's get on with the big news going on in general this year. Lots of stuff. What were your top stories?
Well, oh my God, and like there's been so many in the last 2 weeks. I mean,
Exactly. That's where I think it's all about for me too. Those are my picks. But go ahead.
we're gay, so you got it. You can't escape the gay marriage thing.
They
Even though I said on to my guest on the podcast the other night, I want the Supreme Court to settle the issue so we can just read about something else.
hmm
Like if you Google gay news, it's like marriage, 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 marriage. I can't wait till this is not the news landscape. But marriage was made big strides this year. Florida's going to be doing it in January 5th. I hope, unless that hideous, I think it's Pam Bondi, whatever
Oh,
her
well,
name
that
is.
Blondie, I call her Blondie.
She
I
keeps
don't.
trying to thwart it, and it's like, give it up already, because we're going to Key West in June, and I'm telling you, I'm with so many states now where our marriage is recognized. I'm really getting to where I'm not coming to your state if I have to worry about one of us getting into an accident, and then a hospital administrator says, "You're not the next of kin. You can't go in that room." It's like,
Well,
I'm not
that's what
coming to your
the
fucking state.
and that's what the whole fight is for, Mark. And you're absolutely right. But even me, just on a rights issue, I feel so much better standing here in New Jersey than when I flew out of Louisiana last night. You just feel better being in a state that's a little open. But yeah, I think she's a closet lesbo. That's all. She's
Okay,
just
so my
fighting who she is.
my other big news would be, oh my God, Cuba, huge, huge, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. And the thing is, you've got all these old Cubans whose, their grandmother drowned in a rubber tube or inner tube or something. And I mean, it's tragic, but times change. And we lost 58,000 American soldiers in Vietnam. And
hmm
we have normalized relations with Vietnam. Enough with the Cuba lobby and the exiles who are all dying out.
hmm
It's time to move forward. So I'm really happy about that. ACA, Obamacare is doing great. And then I'll stop because I want you to talk.
No, I love it. I love it. But the Cuba thing, real quick comment. Rubio is saying, he's of the old school. It's like, shut up. But you're okay with having relationships with Saudi Arabia, where if I went to Saudi Arabia, they'd behead me for being gay.
Well,
Get over it,
Rand
dude.
Paul's taking him on. Rand Paul
He
is take.
is.
Oh my God, yes, thank God for
Divide the
that.
party. I love it. I
And
love
the
it.
the other thing is just that Obama, and I've been reading about this. It's like he got a second wind. They lost the elections and the
It's
midterms, and
so
it was,
true.
oh, everybody was fretting and wringing their hands, and it's over for the Democrats. But Obama just seems to be saying, hey, the worst is over, so I'm gonna lead, and I'm gonna do some amazing things, and he is. So that's it. And
I would
then
agree in all of those. And I think one of the amazing things it is leads into my story is gas pricing. I think when you leave the other night, I went to fill up my gas tank, $1.98. And you look at it, I mean, so much of this country is dictated by the price of gas, and so much of our mentality and things that we tie around from commoners to people that understand why gas prices flux. It affects all of us. And they said the average saving, CNN reports, the average saving per vehicle next year will be $550 per person. So if you have a three-car household, that's like $1,700 or whatever. Do the math. 1650. But I think gas prices, number one, big story, big story. And I also think the Sony terrorism thing. I know
Oh,
it's
that's a
current.
big deal too.
It is, and you know why it's a big deal to me, Mark, is because it showed how insidious terrorism can really be, and how terrorism can really affect your rights, First Amendment rights, and then the discussion about that. I won't get into all the specifics, but I just think the fact that you went from 9/11, all those years ago, to which was let's throw a bomb on a building, to how insidious it is now, and terrorism can be, waves of fear on so many levels, using the internet. But I think, yeah, big stories, all of the above.
Sony, by the way, it's horrible that they caved, and the thing is, it's a crap. From what I've read, I didn't see it, and I don't like like reviewing things I haven't read or gone to or seen. But I don't think it's probably not a very good movie, and it's satire, and it's no big deal. And like North Korea flips out and does this stuff, and then they all caved. The distributors caved, everybody caved, and we that's a bad, bad, bad road to go down, because then what? Now what can't we say before some other country or some group, some anonymous group? And by the way, now that this has happened, I think it's time to stop and because I know there's a lot of people on the left that are friends of Anonymous, but Anonymous does this shit too.
I know
They
you're
hack
right.
people's websites, and it's not okay. And
It isn't. That's the whole sub story here. But also, I'm glad you mentioned it's not just Sony. I mean, the president came down on Sony, but Sony doesn't. The movie theaters, the distributors, and then even the at home video distributors. No one's got interest in the movie right now, and the reason they pulled it from their sites and all that stuff is they had to. I mean, they're not going to make money off of the thing. But the fact that it all ripples down is absolutely right. But you bring up a very good point. Hacking in itself, I mean, it's just ridiculous. So big stories for you. You wrote another novel this year. I'm not going to tell you what your
oh, we're
big
getting
stories
into
are, but
wait, personal story time.
yeah, because I want to hear how you viewed your year. Because I can tell you what I think your big triumph was, and it
No,
was
but I
writing
want you to do yours too.
I will, but I think yours would. You tell. I think your biggest story was writing another book. Oh, I love it. I love it, Mark. That's so cute, Santa.
I did you see the bow? I got a bow on.
Oh my God, you got a lot of red. For those just listening to us and not watching us, yeah, Mark's got it going on. If you're listening to us, you can also go to YouTube, find us on YouTube, and you can see us.
Yeah, just look up Mark McNease, or actually, it's also under Made Mark Media, but Made Mark, I think. Anyways, oh, my big accomplishments this year, and I tend to be self-effacing and not think of accomplishments. It sounds, but it was a big year for me, and I really realized it at the end of the year, which is this time period. If I go back 2 years, in the last 2 years, I've written 4 Kyle Callahan mysteries, popular gay mystery series.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, Murder at Pride Lodge, is being done right now as an audiobook. So the
Nice.
fourth one came out this year, and I've published 6. I published those, and then I also published this year my sister's, Kathy McNease's book. Oh my God, why am I drawing a blank? Herbs, Nutrition, and
That's it.
yes,
And you published another book too.
a book of her writing on Chinese medicine, and then also this is a big deal too. It's called Outer Voices, Inner Lives. It's a collection of short stories, essays, and personal reflections by LGBTQ writers over 50,
Mm-hmm.
and I just have met some fabulous writers. My co-editor Steve Delansky entered it into the Lambda Literary Awards, so we'll see what happens. I'm not big on awards. I never enter them because I always figure I'm not going to win.
And you've won Emmys, but who cares? We're not counting.
But that's a big deal, and I'm so proud of these people. And I've made lots of good friends, and a bunch of them are on the LGBTSR website now
I
too,
saw that. I love it. I love it. You're
which
really
is
growing
great.
that website.
And
Yeah.
that leads me into my things for next. This year was great. Next year, I've got big plans for LGBTSR.org. I'm going to really focus on it. I'm gonna do 3 podcasts a week. I mean, the guest one with you and me, or me, whoever is doing those. I'll deal with that later because you got to line up guests. It's a whole thing. But I'm going to be doing a Friday morning with Mark finally, which is 15 minutes of news and some commentary. And then, of course, our side dishes that we're doing right now. And then I'm going to try to start an email blast, which was inspired. I mean, everybody is derivative, I think, to some extent. And no,
Some
really, truly,
That's true.
it's the skim. And it's like Oprah has to read it every day. And so I subscribed, and it's these 2 women who put out it's just a clip, a thing of a look at the news every day. And it's like hugely successful. And it's being hugely successful is never my ambition, but I thought what a great thing to do for our audience, for the LGBT senior audience, not just queer news, but because I get really tired of that. Um, Obama, Cuba, all of it, politics, culture. So I'm going to try to set that up. That's a big thing. And I just have lots of big plans. The novel writing is on hold for right now because I also have a day job that I just cannot leave at this point in my life. So I have to figure stuff out. It's about balance. And I'm already feeling less stressed because I said this is what I'm going to focus on, at least for, say, the next 6 months and see what happens. So I'm excited. It's been a great year. It's going to be a great year next year. Frank and I have been together 8 years. What more could I ask for?
Yeah, we'll celebrate that tomorrow night. I love it too, Mark, because for those that haven't read Mark but just listen to Mark here on Side Dish, you're very keen with your words. You're very articulate with your commentary on news items, and you're funny. So I look
Thank
forward
you.
to see what you do with it. Yeah, let me hear a Tibetan bong, please.
Can you not hear it down there?
Didn't hear it. There it is. Yeah, for me, 2014, and then moving right into 2015, as you did in one big piece, it's really reflective of three people. I'd say Hillary Clinton and Obama and the Pope. So the Pope is my 2015 dream, to leave it at that. My hope for 2015, to start with 2015 and then backtrack, is to really live a life where I stand for what I believe in and really go out there and really make a stand and not just tell people what I believe. I post to Facebook often on our shows, Side Dish and other things. I tell people how I feel. People know where I stand. I've worn an earring in my right ear 25 years ago because I believed it was important back then to take whatever stand I could for gay rights. Now I can, be more open with it. But even then, that was a pretty bold move because I've always believed in things. But for me, two simple things that I want to be more active in is, the blood ban. I talk about it a lot. And finally, Elizabeth Warren and other people and Tammy Baldwin have written a letter, and they're really getting together to say we can't ban homosexuals from donating blood. On a small scale, that's important to me. On a larger scale, it's this racism issue. Big story, again, from last year we didn't even touch on. But the whole deal that came out of Ferguson, if you will,
Oh, huge. Huge.
huge. And what it means to live in an integrated world, and a world that accepts everybody for who they are, is really what that message is. Less about police power and more about our feelings regarding those that are different than us, And
Excellent.
I think this Pope really has shed some light on that, and from his pulpit, if you will, he's been able to help us realize that. So 2014, touching on Hillary and Obama, big stories for me. One was just being able to realize that feminism, something I believed in and believed I was for forever, is finally coming to reality. And my part in it, all the stuff that I've done, I feel that you can make a difference. Margaret Mead said it once. She said, "Don't think for one moment that a small group of people can change the world, because indeed they are the people that have changed the world." I think through our actions and our beliefs, we can go far. And I think about the power of women. You've got an election where you've got upcoming presidential election, Mark, you're talking about key players like Elizabeth Warren and Hillary Clinton. And I can't think of her name right now, but on the Republican side, you have the woman that ran Packard pulling together a committee to run as a Republican candidate. Transgender women, how far they've come. The cover of Candy magazine this month. Orange is the New Black, something you and I wanted to do years ago. We vowed that we'd go into our new year at this time of year and understand that community better. And then lastly, Obama, back to your point, he's getting a second wind. The changes he's made have inspired me, from gay marriage all the way through. And a personal accomplishment there is, I'm ordained, and I got to go viral like you did.
You did. You had a viral video.
I did.
Awesome.
We both have had a viral video. Isn't it awesome? I
I
mean, I
hope
share
somebody
mine.
monetized it.
Well, it wasn't really. It was really more about Shannon and Bobby and the roller skating man.
But you can
But
make a couple $100. I did.
I was just the minister, Mark. Did you go viral in 2014 or 2013? I was trying to remember.
2014.
Oh shit,
2014.
we shared the
1.9
same
million
year.
views.
Went viral. You and I. This was their year to go viral. But anyway, it's been fun chatting with you, Mark. Tomorrow we get to do it real time.
Yes, we're not over. We got a couple more minutes because I got things to say. I just want to the Pope thing too. I really like this Pope, and it's interesting to me. There was in I think it was either the Washington Post or the New York Times this morning. There's an open letter to President Obama by the daughter of a Cuban
Oh,
exo,
wow.
something like that. But anyways, I respect her perspective. I totally understand where she's coming from. But I thought, why don't you write an open letter to the Pope? Because the Pope had a lot to do with this. And the thing is, Marco Rubio, he's not going to take on the Pope. None of these
They
people that
won't
are
touch me.
condemning Obama are going to take on the Pope. Obama's an easy target, but let's remember that the Pope really pressed for this opening of relations with Cuba.
Amen. It's a good reminder.
Yes.
I think you got a perfect storm. You've got the Pope and I mean, who would have imagined that the Pope and Obama would be in their positions at the same time? And I really think we're going to see a very good couple of years ahead of us.
Yes, and also in this year, I'll break the news here. We're going to do a webinar, you and I, and
Yes, we are.
we don't know the topic yet, but in the spring, as part of LGBT Senior, I would like to do like a quarterly webinar with experts or something. I have no idea. It's just an idea because I've got nothing. I've got all these ideas in my head all the time, and I thought Rick and I could do a webinar. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, but we won't be doing it dressed like we both are right now. Just
No,
so you
well,
know.
especially if it's a video.
Yeah, and I can't show the cleavage. Oh, I got all excited. You know, I
You
usually
look
show too
great though,
much
and I want to
cleavage.
wish everybody. Are we signing off?
Yeah, we should, but yeah, yeah. One more, one more dong
Go for
bong.
it. Go for it. Merry
Yeah,
Christmas,
that's it.
everybody.
A hit.
You know, I used to think how old I was going to be in 2000. I thought that's really old. And it's like 2015. That was a long time ago.
You know, and I told my brother and sisters the other day, I will always remember my mom and dad at 42. It was like, oh my God, they're old. They're 42. Here I am heading into 50, and my father's deceased. I mean, life goes on. It's amazing, isn't it?
It does. So, everybody, let's go on with gusto. And Rick, I'll see you at dinner tomorrow night. I can't wait. Bye.
Peace out.